an oil shock that wasn't as severe as this one that happened in the 1970s. That led to rationing. That led to, hey, if your license plate ends with an odd number, you can only get gas on these particular days of the week. If it ends in an even number, you can only get gas on these other particular days of the week. They were rationing. There are 80 countries already that put into place emergency measures to try to conserve energy. 80 countries already did that. Where are the fucking idiots who are like, we don't give a fuck, bro. We're gonna ride the Titanic right into that motherfucking iceberg. We're gonna ride the ship right into the rocks. So they're acting like there is no problem here, but there's a massive problem. And you already see gas is already near $5 a gallon, which also is an input for every other element of the economy. So what are you going to look at? Are you going to look at grocery prices that skyrocket even more? Are you going to look at shortages in some place, for example, because the trucking to get the food to rural communities, it's not worth it for companies to do it, so nobody takes the contracts? Again, people are not truly factoring in how ugly this can get, okay? And when AutoZone is telling you, by the way, we have a 40% drop in having fucking motor oil, that should be a little bit of a wake-up call to everybody, shouldn't it? ABC News says grocery prices in the U.S. soared faster in April than any month in nearly 4 years, driving up the cost of everything, from frankfurters to tomatoes to cupcakes, according to government data. Holy cow. Then we also have this. Senator Peter Welch says, the Trump administration is essentially banning wind projects on private land. Energy prices are higher than ever right now. Why would President Trump actively work against lowering energy bills? I'll answer that question. It's either because he's a Manchurian candidate and he's trying to destroy this country, or he's the dumbest person to ever sit in the White House. There's your answer, Senator Peter Welch. But yes, Canary Media points out, it's a de facto moratorium on wind power in the U.S. More than 250 wind projects on private land are stalled now that the Defense Department has halted once routine reviews. So stop and think about that. Not only are there no more public wind projects, there are no private wind projects either. So at the same time, Trump is creating an oil crisis, a gas crisis, this massive energy shock. He's also saying you're not allowed to do solar power, you're not allowed to do wind power, you're not allowed to do renewable technologies. It is literally the dumbest thing you could ever imagine. Trying to actively handcuff this country. By the way, as other countries are now speeding up their investment in renewable and green technology, we are stuck. It's basically like we're doubling down on the horse and buggy at the same time the automobile was just released. That's what we're doing. We're doubling down on the Morse code machine at the same time the telephone just came around. That's what Trump is doing. That's how fucking stupid this disgusting, gelatinous, pedophile, rapist, con man criminal is. Every decision is wrong. Like, literally every decision is wrong and stupid and dumb. All right, how about this? As family homelessness hits record highs, school districts are offering parking lots as safe sites for students and their families to sleep at night. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk is projected to become a trillionaire in the near future. Let me repeat that. Elon Musk is projected to become a trillionaire in the near future, as family homelessness is hitting a record high and people are sleeping in school parking lots. This is a broken system. This is a broken economy. But you know what? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is exactly how capitalism functions. Maybe the answer is to tax the fuck out of the billionaires and soon to be trillionaires and take that money and you redistribute. And you give people housing, you give people education, you give people health care, you give people a chance at a decent life. Right now the income and wealth inequality is worse than during the fucking Gilded Age, and we're all sitting around with our thumbs up our asses like there's nothing we can do about it. There's a lot we can do about it. And guess what? The Trump crime family, the criminal regime, they're in the midst of kicking 18 million people off Medicaid and tripling your health insurance premium. They're actively making your life harder every single step of the way. People are homeless, and the billionaires are getting richer and richer and richer, and they don't give a fuck about you. If anything, they're trying to make it so you lose whatever job you do have, because they want AI to completely and utterly take over. So then we also have this. The Trump-Vance administration has quietly lifted restrictions on M44 cyanide traps. These are essentially cyanide bombs that indiscriminately kill anyone or anything that interacts with them, not just pests. In one case, the Department of Agriculture planted a bomb near the home of an Idaho family. The 14-year-old boy and his dog found it and accidentally triggered it. It killed his dog and severely injured him. Biden's Bureau of Land Management banned their use in 2023. The Trump-Vance administration is bringing them back. You could not dream up a more cartoonishly evil White House than this, and the icing on the cake is how it has integrated themes like protecting the homeland into its propaganda, but it is quite literally poisoning the homeland in more ways than one. So there's an article on it right here. Trump administration lifts ban on cyanide bombs that kill animals. Okay, but that's not it though. The Trump administration is repealing a rule that prevents power plants from releasing hundreds of millions of gallons of toxic mercury and arsenic into drinking water. They are quite literally green-lighting the poisoning of our drinking water, ladies and gentlemen. We have rolled the clock back to a primitive system of government. This is an anarcho-capitalist regime. It's actually anarcho-capitalism for you, socialism for the rich. Give the rich all the money, let them loot and pillage, let them rob the taxpayers relentlessly, endlessly, give them tax cuts, give them subsidies. When it comes to regular people, your water is going to get poisoned by these companies, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what they're doing. So as all this is going on, Trump sat down for an interview with Fox News' Bret Baier, and he's asked, like, hey, here's some MAGA voters that say they're struggling with this economy. What would you say to them, sir? And look at Trump's reaction.
When you hear Trump voters, Alex says, I voted for you 3 times. He can't handle the costs. And he's not for this foreign conflict.
I hate it.
He's not for the foreign conflict, but Roy in Pennsylvania, he's a retired farmer. He can't handle the fuel going up. And he says he's going to come down very fast. And
well,
so,
look, disappointed.
I'm just talking
What
about
they
this.
say to him, Roy, Alex, we got a problem. We just hit the highest.
Dumb motherfucker. Look at his red face ass. Man, this man is crazy as shit.
It's higher than it was when I went in.
These people are like, hey, I can't afford gas. He's like, well, the stock market is
Motherfucker.
very high. Yeah, but you fucking asshole. Like, half the country owns no stocks, and like
Dumb
90%
motherfucker.
of people don't have a significant amount of stocks, that it makes much of a difference if the market goes up. The stock market is an indicator of how the rich are doing, how the investment class
People-
is doing, how like the 1% are doing.
People who
As
voted
most
for this man is just as dumb as this
people are like,
motherfucker.
"Man, the stock market's doing well." Working people usually don't have investments. They certainly don't have many investments. The bottom 50% literally has no investments. This is so fucking out of touch. It's astonishing, bro.
The highest stock market price ever. By the way, then, when I went in. Now, again,
It's higher.
with the war, it's higher than it was when I went in. Think of that.
I
The
agree.
401ks at their all-time high.
Oh, that's gonna
More
crash
people
too.
Working right now in the United States of America than at any point ever in the history
This
of
man
our
showed,
country.
this man
This thing
lied.
is so fucking clobbered, bro. It is so over. It's gonna be too big to rig with shit like this. So they're saying, hey, we're struggling. Can you help out? And he's like, actually, things are amazing. Things are tremendous. And you're just sour grapes. Have you not realized the stock market? Did you look at the stock market? Oh, my word. Oh, my word. And by the way, they're only gonna have that talking point for a little while longer, because at some point, that shit's gonna go belly up too, bro. At some point, that shit's gonna collapse around us like nobody's business. Mike Johnson says Congress can't survive on $174,000. So as you struggle, this is what they're saying about their salary of $174,000.
Well, look, you know, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. You know, when you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than that year. Because then every year, and over time, if you stay on this trajectory,
Y'all salary frozen. Other people, minimum wage is frozen too.
Sacrifice to run for Congress, and it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residency or residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy. Look, at least let them like engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to, take care of their family.
Oh my word. Oh no! Come on, son. He said that with a straight face. He said, look, they only make $174,000. They can't even fucking keep up with inflation. You gotta let them do some stock trading so they can feed their fucking families, bro. They're making 174,000 DZACs. That is so much more than your average American. That puts them in the top 10%, bro. He's like, oh, I mean, what are we supposed to do? They haven't had a raise since 2009. You motherfuckers haven't raised the minimum wage since 2009, and not a single Republican is lifting their finger to raise the fucking minimum wage. Not a single one. You guys want to give yourselves a raise? Oh, no. Guillotines are about to roll out in this bitch, bro. I'm telling you, people cannot handle this shit. You are going to make people snap. You are going to make people snap. At some point, everybody's going to wake up and realize that the Republican trick of blaming trans people for all your problems, and immigrants, and black people, and Muslims, that those are not actually the problem. The problem are the billionaires. The billionaires and the fascists and the warmongers are going to go down, and they're going to experience tremendous fury of working Americans who watch videos like this, and they fucking snap, son. They snap. All right, not done yet, though, because here's Lindsey Graham, the chief Trump ball coddler and semen slurper, and he goes out there, and he defends Trump. Remember when Trump said, I don't think about Americans' finances at all. I don't think about that at all. Well, here comes Miss Lindsay to defend this and act like, actually, he's totally right, bro.
Inflation has climbed to the highest annual rate in 3 years. Gas prices are at a 4-year high. Grocery prices are climbing. President Trump was pressed on how all of these factors impact how he views his negotiations with Iran. Take a look.
I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
They didn't have one. You came in and changed the deal that Obama made.
Look at his eyes.
Everything was fine till he got involved with
God
Netanyahu.
damn it, Donnie, you really put me in a corner here. Now I gotta use all my fucking bullshitting skills to try to tap dance my way around this. Here's Lindsey Graham thinking, I wish I was back in Disney World holding like a magic wand. Tinkerbell's fucking magic wand, as he was caught doing, actually, by the way.
Yes.
That's what Lindsey Graham's like, oh no, even I'm gonna have a hard time bullshitting my way out of this
Taking
one.
Americans' financial situation into account in dealing with Iran.
That's his Churchill moment. When Churchill came into power, he promised blood, sweat, toil, heartache until we deal with the Nazis, who are an existential threat to the British way of life. And if Hitler had taken charge of the planet, it would have been the darkest hour in humanity. I believe Iran wants a nuclear weapon. They would use it.
For what?
As President Trump. They would use it as part of their religious agenda. They would destroy the Jewish state. They would eventually hold us hostage. So his audience, the Iranian regime, do I worry about gas prices? Yes.
You've been saying it for 47 years.
The biggest threat to stability in the world is a nuclear armed Iran. And whatever price we have to pay, we'll pay. What did Churchill say?
Nobody signed up for this shit. And you motherfuckers weren't saying you're gonna have to sacrifice, it's gonna be hard. None of you motherfuckers said that. You were acting like you'd be in and out fucking instantly. Okay? By the way, what's the difference? What's the difference? Well, I don't know. Hitler was actually an existential threat and was trying to do global domination. Hitler and Winston Churchill was right to say, hey, he's trying to do global domination. He's a real threat. Whereas with Iran, they were no threat whatsoever, you lying con man. In fact, Iran agreed to the strictest terms to limit their enrichment hours before they were attacked by Israel and the U.S., aka the Axis of Epstein. So, who do you think this works for? Who thinks you're telling the truth? Who thinks this makes sense? Absolutely fucking nobody.
For every price we have to pay to beat Hitler, we will pay. Same with Iran. So good news, we're inside the 10-yard line. I think if we can go back to military activity, weaken them further, then we can end this thing pretty soon.
I got news for you. The better comparison, if you're going to compare anybody to Hitler, it's not the Iranians, bro. It's the Israelis and it's us.
That's right.
Trump himself.
That's right.
Attacked 8 countries already.
Now you talking about going into
Trump's
Bolivia.
already attacked like 8 or 10 countries. Who have the Iranians attacked offensively? Fucking nobody. This man's a sick, disgusting joke. Okay. Now also at the same time, ready for this? Trump's $2 billion taxpayer-subsidized slush fund comes with a legal disclaimer that basically says we are not responsible for any crimes committed with this money. So understand what happened here, y'all. Trump sued the IRS. I always forget the number. What was it, 10 billion, 100 billion? I think it was 100. He was asking for a shitload of money from the IRS, his own IRS, saying, you leaked my tax information, that's illegal, that's an invasion of privacy, I'm going to sue you and take you to court. Then Trump's own IRS goes, oh no, sir, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to fight this with you. Maybe we shall settle out, okay? Let's settle out of court. And then Trump's own IRS goes, well, what if I give you $1.7 billion instead of the $100 million you're suing me for? And you can take this $1.7 billion and basically do whatever the fuck you want with it. And you can basically make it a slush fund that pays all of your family, all of your friends, all of the January 6th insurrectionists. And Trump goes, you know, I wanted the $100 billion, but I guess I'll have to settle for the $1.7 billion. Okay, you twisted my arm. We'll make that deal. So now Donald Trump, the sitting president, is currently looting the Treasury in a way we haven't seen ever in our history. This man is looting the Treasury. He also stole $10 billion, illegally, by the way, to fund his Board of Peace, which is supposed to be above the UN, and only he controls that money. In the same way, he kidnapped Venezuela's president, stole their oil, sold it, made hundreds of millions of dollars, and put it in a bank account that only he controls. Okay, this is what we're witnessing. We're witnessing a crime spree the likes of which we've never seen. All of this happening as you can't pay the bills. As gas is nearly $5 a gallon. Okay, as you're struggling to pay the light bill. As you struggle to afford groceries. As everybody's going, what the fuck? I can't afford anything anymore. And this motherfucker is swimming in money that he stole from American taxpayers and the people of Venezuela. And now he's going to pay the January 6th insurrectionists who assaulted cops, who committed crimes, who are literal terrorists. He's going to pay them for doing his fucking dirty work. This man needs to be locked the fuck up, bro. This man needs to be locked the fuck up. Here's a list of some of the people eligible to get payouts from taxpayers from the IRS slush fund that was just created. Ready? Sloppy Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Stuart Rhodes, Enrique Tarrio. This is a who's who of criminals. Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, John Eastman, Jeffrey Clark, Boris Epstein, Joe Biggs, and Walt Nauta. So it's a who's who of criminals. It's a who's who of con men and liars and frauds. And now they are going to rob the American taxpayer. When I say these people need to be locked up, oh boy, do I mean it. Oh, but they should thank me for saying that. Because the reality is there's going to be a whole bunch of people to my left who say more should happen than just that. You understand what I'm saying? So you should be thanking your lucky stars that there's somebody like me out there saying you should be locked up, you should be charged, arrested, locked up, and they should throw the fucking key away. Because this crime spree is unlike anything we've ever witnessed before. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe.